Welcome, my friends, to the Hebraic Living Walking with Messiah broadcast. We're excited to have you here with us as we explore the rich traditions and teachings of Hebraic living, guiding you on a journey to walk in alignment with the Messiah. Whether you're seeking spiritual growth, practical insights, or a deeper connection with your faith, this show is here to inspire and uplift you. In last week's episode, we started our series, Take Charge of Your Health, Part 1. And we discussed degenerative diseases and how God provides all the healing foods and herbs we need to heal and maintain a healthy body. In today's Part 2 episode, we will discuss pure air, pure water, supplements, and how faith plays a major part in healing our bodies, mind, and soul. Now, remember to plug in every Tuesday at the same time to see the show live, and you can also view it on demand on the lambnetwork.tv website. Each show is also recorded on the Daily Torah YouTube channel. Welcome to all our new listeners, and if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single episode. And remember to share these messages with your social media friends, especially this topic, because they may need to learn how to take charge of their health. Now, if you have your Bible or notepads handy, get them ready, and let's begin, because we do have a lot to discuss today. So let's get the slideshow up on the stage and get everything set up. So we're going to start Take Charge of Your Health, Part 2. But last week, I just want to do a recap of Part 1. God wants us to take charge of our health so that we can fulfill our destiny with vigor and vitality. Western culture and diet have introduced so many degenerative diseases, and we see these diseases spreading throughout the whole world. And we talked about the Genesis diet and how it heals. It's a diet of healing, and that God has given us all the healing foods and herbs to reverse disease. So this week, we didn't get very far last week, right? We only got through the Genesis diet, but it was so important that I wanted to spend some time to go through that. But today, we're going to talk about pure water, pure air, and non-toxic household chemicals, how to detoxify the body, the healing value of vitamins, enzymes, antioxidants, and herbs, the healing value of exercise, and the healing value of faith, hope, and love. So let's get into it. So we want to learn about pure water today. Now, one of the statistics written a while ago, but it says that over 900,000 people, and I'm sure this figure is much more today, over 900,000 people get sick each year in the U.S., and as many as 900 die from waterborne bacterial disease. So the water we drink violates the spirit of the law of purity. And we have so much chlorine in our water today, and fluorides, and all these different chemicals that they pump into our water, and some of it's not treated properly. And so tap water, when I was a kid, you could drink out of the tap, no problem. We had fresh mountain water that flowed through our faucets. But today, you see, the scaling, the slime, the stuff that is the residues that are left over in your water, especially in your showers and dishes and whatever you're cleaning. So we need to be drinking pure water. So, because water heals, a fresh flowing mountain stream will cleanse itself of harmful pollutants within a few miles of flowing downstream. Water in its natural state is energized by three types of magnetic energies. That's geomagnetic energy, solar magnetic energy, and cosmic magnetic energy. So, what are these? Well, let's look at it. Geomagnetic energy is the energy that comes from the Earth's magnetic field. As water flows over rocks and through the earth, it absorbs geomagnetic energy, which helps to align the water molecules in a more structured and coherent manner. This structured water is believed to have better hydration properties and can more effectively support biological processes, living organisms. You ever notice that out in the woods, animals know where the good water is and where the bitter water is? They naturally have this instinct to go find good, fresh water. Now, it's also energized by this solar magnetic energy. This energy is derived from the sun's radiation. When water is exposed to sunlight, it absorbs solar magnetic energy, which can help to energize and purify the water. The ultraviolet rays from the sun can kill harmful bacteria and pathogens, making the water safer to drink. Additionally, the solar energy can enhance the vibrational frequency of the water, making it more vital and beneficial for health. And, my friends, we see these UV rays being used a lot now in these whole house water filtration systems, where the water that's coming through is hit with UV light, and that purifies and cleanses the water of any harmful bacteria. Now, the third energy source is cosmic magnetic energy. This energy comes from cosmic rays and other celestial sources. As water flows through the environment, it can absorb cosmic magnetic energy, which is believed to impart unique vibrational qualities to the water. This cosmic energy can enhance the water's ability to support cellular function and overall vitality in living. So if you need to take a screenshot of this, go ahead. But I wanted to educate you on how water is purified in a natural environment. God has created this water purification process in nature. And it's amazing how it goes. When water goes down streams, it goes over rocks and it collects minerals and it goes over like moss and then it hits with the sunlight and it goes through. Sometimes it goes underneath the rocks. So it's getting hit with all of these energy sources and it's being filtered as it flows, and eventually it becomes pure mountain spring water. Now, what is our objective, my friends? Well, we want to make sure that we are drinking pure water. Using a quality water filtration unit will remove most toxins, medications, and chlorine from your tap water. I can't believe the studies I've been seeing of how much medication residue and elements have been found in everyday water, tap water. Even though it's been filtered and processed, they're still finding this stuff in the water. So we need to put a filter on our sinks and our shower, because our skin is our largest organ in our body, and we absorb all those toxins from the water and it gets into our skin and eventually throughout our body. I would suggest considering a whole house filter if you're able to afford one. They're not that expensive in the US. You can put it in your garage. Usually comes with 3 filters, and it filters out everything. And then every time you turn on a faucet in your house, it'll already be filtered. An alternative, of course, is at least purchasing spring water or distilled or reverse osmosis water, even though it removes a lot of the beneficial minerals from the water. At least you're not getting the toxins. And sometimes you can get like trace mineral drops, and you can put it back in the water to bring those minerals back into the water. But I prefer to have spring water, and it's usually hit with UV light and filtered to make sure that it's still pure, but it's minimally processed. But they at least hit it with UV light before they bottle it and sell it to you. And I know it's expensive, but I'm going through this series the last 2 weeks because our health is the most important part of life. Without our health, if you're sick, you're going to spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in medications and fighting degenerative diseases, and then getting sick, and then possibly dying before your time, before God has given you the opportunity to spread his word, to be a light to the world. And if you have a family, take care of your family, your loved ones. So it's very, very important. And sadly, Hasatan has put it into our minds that we can't afford vitamins, we can't afford to eat organic food, we can't afford to buy clean water. And so he allows us to keep poisoning ourselves through eating unclean food, drinking unclean water, breathing unclean air, which we're going to discuss here in the next slides. And we end up getting sick, and then we die before our time, and he's defeated the purpose, because Satan's goal is he hates God's people, he hates human beings, and he wants to kill as many as he can. If he can't kill them through abortion, he will kill them through sickness and disease. And that's his ultimate goal, is to kill and destroy, and to keep as many people from the knowledge of God as possible. So I'm asking you now, and I'm educating you about taking charge of your health, because you're the only one that can do it. No one can do it for you. You have to take the bull by the horns. You have to take charge of your health. Now, your action plan is assess your water usage, no matter where you are in the world, and use filters if you can, or buy water that has been purified. And you can consider, if you're in the US, you can consider installing a pure H2O filter. This usually goes underneath your sink and ties in. At least you can have pure water that you can drink, or get spring water delivered to your household. And you want to drink at least half your weight in ounces per day of pure water. Stop drinking sodas and sugary drinks and juices and other things, but drink as much water throughout the day as you can, because the water will purify the toxins and the crap out of your system, so that you can at least detoxify your body, which we're going to also discuss here later today. So now we want to talk about pure air. So let's look at pure air. Why is pure air so important? Because the air we breathe violates the spirit of the law of purity. You know, my friends, the closer you live to the city, the more your air is contaminated. Smoke polluted air causes cancer. So does smog, exhaust, and many other things dumped into our atmosphere. You know, we hear about chemtrails being dumped into our air, and all kinds of pollutants in our air that is causing lung diseases, different cancers. And we breathe this stuff in, it gets into our lungs, into our fatty tissue, and it creates a lot of degenerative diseases. Also, many things in our homes also produce toxins, like new carpets or new furniture, wall paneling, maybe fresh paint. Even normal household cleaners we depend on every day, like the chlorines and different chemicals that we use to clean our house. When we breathe that in, it can create toxins in our air. So, how do we combat this? How do we take charge of this? Well, we want to look for a good HEPA, which HEPA means high efficiency particulate air filter. We want to find a good HEPA air filter that will at least get out all the impurities, the dust mites, the toxins, the things that are lingering in the air. It'll be purified, it'll be put into a filter. And then, usually a lot of these filters, the light will come on and tell you when to clean or change the filter. A lot of them have pre-filters, and then they have the HEPA filter. So it's better than nothing. It's very important to keep your home as the air in your home as clean as possible. Also, you want to look at the toxic chemicals in your homes that violate the spirit of the law of purity. If you just moved into a new home or you did painting, try to use non-toxic materials. And we want to switch to non-toxic household cleaners. And I have a recommendation for you here in two recommendations. One is the Austin Air Purifier. It's got a 5-year filter life. And I will put all these links in the YouTube video underneath where it says description. You just click it, it'll say more, it'll expand, and I'll put all these links in after the show. And you can also consider switching to non-toxic household products. And one that I found to be very beneficial is called Snap. And it's called Snap Essentials, actually, and they're made from plant compounds. You can also look at Mrs. Meyer's, and there's different household cleaners that you can buy, like at organic food stores or natural food stores, and have natural cleaners. You can also go as simple as just using like vinegar water, baking soda. Those things are simple, easy to use, and you can use them to clean everything in your house. So you can make it as simple and as inexpensive as possible. And you can find a lot of this stuff on YouTube. Just Google non-toxic household cleaners, and you can find a lot of this online so that you're not bringing all these toxins into your house. Now, the next thing we want to do, and we want to really focus on these next two sections, is detoxifying our bodies. So how do we do that? What is that mean by detoxifying the body? We hear the term a lot, but detoxing is basically, it all starts in the bowel, okay? And I know sometimes this is like an unpleasant topic, but it's real. God has created our bodies, and he is giving us the mechanisms, the design to rid our bodies of toxics and non-organic elements that our bodies don't need. They don't need the process. They can't use it. The waste that needs to be purged out of our bodies. So if you have a toxic bowel, it's the source of many health problems. My friends, we cannot have a healthy body without clean blood. And we cannot have clean blood unless we have a clean bowel. And with good tone to move the waste along promptly, actually, but also properly. We need to get these toxins out of our systems. And the only way we can do it is by having a clean bowel, which will give us good, pure, clean blood. Now, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg maintained that 90% of the diseases of civilizations, no matter where you are in the world, are due to improper functioning of the colon. What this boils down to, my friends, is that diseased people have toxic bodies. And if they would detoxify their bodies, their diseases would go away. When the bowel fails, the whole body goes into a nutritional crisis. metabolic shock waves flow to every cell and tissues. And then they run rampant and cancer cells develop. And this is the beginning of our degenerative diseases. The intestine is to be filled with friendly flora called acidophilus. I'm sure most of you have heard what acidophilus is. When your probiotics have acidophilus, and there's many different strands of it that help put good bacteria into your intestines so that it will help detoxify the body and have a good acid, like a pH level in your bowel environment, and to be able to help you digest foods better. Now, Bacillus coli are unfriendly bacteria which grow in an alkaline environment. They are easily produced by having protein for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or by taking antibiotic drugs. This unfriendly bacterium reaches as high as 85% of the floral life in the colon of an average American. So if you go around and you see obese people, maybe you're obese yourself, and you have this unfriendly bacterium in your body. And maybe that's why you're tired, you feel lethargic, and you're having other issues. So we need to get this out so that our body can begin functioning in the proper manner. Now, to restore proper flora in the intestines, we have to have, one way is we eat the Genesis diet, which is low in fat, cholesterol, and high fiber. But we want to supplement our diet also with acidophilus for like 2 to 4 weeks. But I take it like every few days. I take some probiotics to be able to keep things in order, because you never know. Like sometimes when you're out, you eat something, it's not good and you feel bad the next morning. So you want to keep things in balance. And you can tell when your flora is changed because your stools are soft, they're frequent, and they're free from any rancid odors. And I know that's an unpleasant topic, but that's the reality of life. Now, we do have something that we can recommend, and that's our highly effective and safe 7-day Nutra Cleanse. And this is something that, I have been recommending for probably, over 10 years now, and it's still available, still can be used. And I'll put the links in the comments after our program today. So you want to assess your current bowel movements, and maybe you're doing fine. If you are, maybe you're already on a vegetarian diet and you're eating well and you're taking lots of vitamins and acidophilus and you're doing good. Well, that's great. Keep it up. But if you're not and you need help, you can do the NutriClean 7-day cleansing system. And then you can evaluate what we call Ultimate Aloe, which will help line the intestines and keep them safe and smooth. And then just maintain that Genesis diet plan. And you can add fish to that plan, because I know many of us crave protein. And you can have a steak once in a while if you want. But if you're sick and you're degenerative, I recommend don't eat any meat protein, animal-based protein for at least probably, I would say, if you could try 6 months to a year to get your body back in its proper balance. And I know that's hard for some, but there's many, many recipes out there. I gave you the McDougall cookbook in part 1, which has all the Genesis diet plan recipes in there. So I recommend downloading or buying that book. And you can also find a lot of this stuff online for free. Just do the best you can to eat a good Mediterranean, vegetarian style diet and get your body back in order. Now, let's look at our next section, which is the healing value of supplementation. I want to spend a little time here today because this is a very important topic, and I'm going to explain why here. See, what happens is vitamins and the RDA. Some people claim that if you eat right, you don't need any vitamins. You can get all your vitamins in your food, right? Others swear by supplementation. Some say that the recommended daily allowance is plenty. Others say it doesn't even begin to meet our daily requirements for optimum health. And I'm here to tell you that the RDA is for minimum health. It'll keep you alive, but it's not optimum. And so let's discuss this. Because the land is so devitalized, the crops so covered with pesticides, and the air so filled with smog, it makes sense to supplement even a good diet with a few extra vitamins. Since we know that the cure comes from within, from our own immune systems, we should be sure to give it all the supplies it needs to wage an aggressive, ongoing war against these free radicals. Vitamins, minerals, enzymes, amino acids, and other natural disciplines like fasting, exercise, rest, and a positive mental attitude are the tools that our immune systems need for efficient operation. Now, the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, was instituted about 40 years ago by the U.S. Food and Nutrition Board as a guide for preventing such diseases as scurvy, rickets, and night blindness. However, our goal in life, my friends, is not to prevent scurvy in our bodies, but our goal is to have optimum health and vitality. So we want the ODA, the optimum daily allowance. So keep that in mind. ODA, optimum daily allowance, is what we want in our bodies. Now, this means, we'll break it down here. Enzymes. These are what your body, this is what allows your body to absorb the food you take in. Enzymes are found in all living plant and animal matter and are essential for maintaining proper functioning of the body, digesting food, and aiding in the repair of tissue. A dirty little secret. Man cannot reproduce enzymes. They can only be found in live food, like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and even animal protein. Antioxidants. They help destroy the free radicals in your body. Free radicals have been shown to be a major contributor to more than 60 of our major diseases. I'm surprised we even have that many. 60 diseases are running rampant throughout our society. Now, amino acids, what are they? These are the chemical units or the building blocks that make up proteins. It is protein that provides the structure for every living cell. You usually see like an L in front of those. If you look at your supplements, you'll see like an L with a word, and that's your amino acids. Now, your minerals. Every living cell also depends on minerals for proper function and structure, including energy production, growth, and healing. And then we have the herbs. And many of us know about herbs that have been used for thousands of years for their healing properties. My friends, God has given us and designed everything that we need to have the optimum daily allowance, to be able to have healthy, vibrant, vigorous bodies that we can glorify Him with and serve Him with and serve our families with. We just have lost this knowledge over time, and it's time that we restore this knowledge to its proper place in our societies. Now, look at this chart. Take a picture of this chart. Let me get my face off. If you want to snap a picture of this, you can see the healing value of supplementation. We put this together, this optimum 6 components for our daily essential needs. Absorbency and quality are the 2 main ingredients when looking for an optimum daily essential. We have found that this brand called Isotonics is the most absorbent and beneficial brand that I've been able to find out on the market. And we'll get into that here in a few slides. But you want to have greens. You want to have coenzyme Q10. You want to have chromium, very important for keeping your sugar in balance. You want to have pycnogenol. Do you know what pycnogenol? It is a super antioxidant, one of the most powerful antioxidants on the planet. And then you want to have a good multivitamin. And I mean a food-based multivitamin. And I like to use a liquid multivitamin because when you use a liquid multivitamin and a liquid anything, it gets right into your system immediately. And then you need minerals, especially trace minerals. And we're going to get into that here shortly. These components will give you the ODA that you need to maintain and keep a healthy body. Now, let's look at this. I just put this up here, but I'm going to share the links for this in the YouTube channel slides after this episode. But isotonics was developed many years ago. And basically, what this is a rapidly absorbed crystals that dissolve in water, and they absorb into the body, and they're highly concentrated of vitamins and minerals. And when you get the maximum results. Now, the supplements are scientifically advanced formulas designed to give your body the maximum benefit from vitamins and minerals. And so we have a complete line of these. And if you don't want to take these, you can take a good whole food vitamins. But I really recommend, making sure that you get this optimum, the coenzyme Q10, the pycnogenol, the chromium, the trace minerals, and a good multivitamin, and the greens. Okay. I take a green drink every morning, and I squirt some other things in there to mix it with and get some vitamins. I take a liquid vitamin and take chromium. So all these elements are in the Isotonics Daily Essentials Kit. Very easy to use. They're in little packets, so you can travel with them. Open it up, mix it in water, bam, you're done. You don't have to have a lot of fuss. You don't have to get into juicing and all this thing. You can take what your body needs very easily and very effectively. So your action plan, my friends, is you need to assess your current supplements. And there's a lot of good supplements out there in the market. If you go to Whole Foods, stay away from the GNCs and the Swans and a lot of these different places. Go to Whole Foods, get the old time vitamins like Rainbow Light, like Source of Life. A lot of different vitamins out there that are very, very well done. And you can find these at Whole Foods, at Sprouts, Natural Grocers, a lot of these different places. But if you want them to, you can make the switch to Isotonics for optimum health and absorbency. I'm going to put a link for the Daily Essentials, the Complete Greens, the Isochrome Chromium product, which is fantastic, the Coenzyme Q10 product, and also there's a book that I think each and every person should have on their bookshelf, the Prescription to Nutritional Healing book. It goes through education on amino acids, enzymes, vitamins, and it also has all the current diseases that are in the world and different ways to prevent them and herbs and different things to take to help you overcome them. Again, this is not medical advice. I am not an AMA certified doctor. So none of what I'm saying here is used to prescribe or to cure or to heal anyone, but you get the idea, right? Always this disclaimers you have to use because Satan, with his worldly systems, loves to persecute people who want to give you the knowledge of God. And so you have to be very, very careful what you say on air today. But we also want to maintain and continue the Genesis diet plan. Now, let's take a look at the healing value of exercise. Now, in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8, Paul writes, "For bodily exercise profits little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promise of the life that now is and of that which is to come." Now, even though health authorities have been telling us since the 70s that we should exercise for our health, nearly 4 out of 5 adults get little or no exercise. How about you, my friends? Are you exercising just even 3 times a week? Getting out and walking. Walking is the best exercise. Exercise stimulates your body's healing abilities. Studies show that exercisers pay half as much in medical bills each year as do non-exercisers and have only 1/3 the number of sick days. Exercise burns away excess fat, lowers blood pressure, improves the cholesterol profile, improves blood sugar and insulin dynamics, and helps prevent bone-thinning osteoporosis, helps alleviate chronic lower back pain, and improves immune function, mood, and mental performance. Wow. Did you ever know that exercise does all that? But yet, what do we do today? We sit around all day. We sit in the office, and then we come home. We play video games, or we become couch potatoes. We watch TV all day. When we were younger and we lived in a different generation, we were out walking, working the fields, walking everywhere. People laugh, but I had to walk a mile to school every day, back and forth. I got in 2 miles a day just going back and forth to school. So exercise does work. And then after school, I threw my books in the house. I was on my bicycle and I was out riding my bike. No matter no matter where I went, I was on my bike, or I was hiking the mountain, or I was fishing, and always outside playing and having fun. Thankfully, I grew up in an era with no video games and hardly ever watched TV, except on the weekends. We watched cartoons, and that was about it. And then that got boring, and we went outside and played. So that was life. And that's what, I was a skinny, scrawny little kid all my life, even when I was an adult. So the physical benefits of exercise, my friends, increases our general bodily performance and agility. It lowers the death rate from all diseases. It reduces the risk of cancer. It reduces the risk of heart disease. It lowers blood pressure, and it reduces back pain and back problems. Now, I know there's always the exceptions to the rule. I've known people who have exercised vigorously and they got cancer, prostate cancer or something like that, and they had to deal with that. But they healed immediately. Once they went through the program, they healed and they lived vibrant lives afterwards. So the exercise actually helped them to recover and get healed and restore from those degenerative diseases that may have been genetics, may have been passed on from family lineage. We don't know exactly how all that works, but when it does happen, at least if you have the optimum daily requirements and your supplementation and you're exercising and you're drinking good water and you're not eating bad food and drinking and smoking, you're going to heal from whatever life throws at you. Now, the emotional benefits of exercise are it's an antidepressant. So if you're depressed, you're feeling down, you're feeling blue, get out and take a walk, especially in the morning when the sun's coming up and it's nice out. It's still cool in the morning. Get outside. It's a natural antidepressant. It allows you to handle stress more effectively, and it enhances your mental abilities, and it enhances your creative flow. So it's very important. Get outside, get out there and exercise, and you will enhance your mood. You won't be depressed. You'll be able to handle stress better, and you'll feel like a new person. So I want to challenge each and every one of you to take what I'm trying to share here with you. I'm not trying to preach to you and tell you what to do, but it's important that we have healthy bodies, that we take charge of our health so that we can be effective tools in God's kingdom. So we're not relying on medicines and society and operations and surgeries, and we end up dying before our time. I've known so many people who have died of kidney disease, heart disease, diabetes, all these degenerative diseases. And if we, when we're starting young, and we teach this to our children, our grandchildren, to eat good, we make it a habit. We start young and we make it a habit every day, and we just do it. And the next thing you do, after you do it for several weeks, it may seem unpleasant or painful at first, or you just don't like to do it. But after several weeks, it'll become a lifestyle. The habit will become a lifestyle, and when you don't do it, you'll feel strange that you want to do it because you feel like it's part of your lifestyle now. And our bodies go through these cycles, especially as we get older. We need to take care of our health, and sometimes it's harder. We need to work harder. We need to really cut down on our caloric intake, and we need to stay active. We need to keep our joints lubricated, and we need to really watch what we eat and take our supplementations and really take charge of our health, and so that we can live into our 90s and, God willing, into our hundreds. So we need to be able to do all that we can to take care of our bodies and be a blessing to the world, to our families, and to our Creator in heaven, who has given us all the things that we need to live lives of vitality and vigor. So why does exercise heal? Well, it enhances the immune system. It reduces fat, it reduces constipation, and it increases blood flow. So when you exercise, you're going to get all the toxins out of your bloodstream, all the fat buildup, all the cholesterol buildup. It's that when your heart is pumping, and it's going to purge out all that stuff out of your blood vessels, and it's going to increase your blood flow, and you're going to have a high. You're going to get oxygen into your bloodstream and into your body, and you're going to feel much, much better, and it's going to enhance your immune systems. So how do you exercise? What do you do? Do what you enjoy, my friends. Do something that you like doing. There are so many activities out there in the world that you can do. Again, as I said, the most simplest thing is walking. If you have mobility issues or you don't like going to the gym, which I don't, I'm not a gym person, but I like to exercise and do old-fashioned calisthenics. But do what you like to do. A well-rounded fitness program should incorporate 3 basic components. Number 1, cardiovascular endurance. Okay, brisk walking, just that walking slow, but getting your heart rate up. Maybe going up steps back and forth. Remember those things about counting your steps? Well, doing stepping exercises, going up and down flights of steps, several, a dozen times or what, that'll get your heart up. Muscular strength, doing a little weight training. And you don't have to get fancy about it. You can take a jug, a plastic jug, and fill it with sand or water, and do a little bit of weight, some curls, and do some weight training. But the natural thing is just do some push-ups. So do some, do what you can do to do muscular strength. Push-ups is easy and ideal, and it's beneficial, and it's free. And then flexibility. Every day you should get up and stretch. Stretch, maybe do some Tai Chi. Learn how to do some of those Tai Chi stretches, and you'll feel wonderful after doing those stretches. You'll feel more flexible, and you'll be able to go out there and do a walk. I personally like to get up, I do stretching, and then I put my dog on the leash and we go for a walk, and then do the other exercises later throughout the day. And if you follow this guideline, any program you select should include exercises that increase heart and lung capacity, stretch tight muscle groups, and strengthen weak ones. So find out where you're weak and do the exercises that will strengthen those. If you need a health coach, spend a little bit or with counseling with a health coach. And then once you learn, you don't have to keep paying them all the time. Just do it for one session and say, hey, help me develop an exercise program. These are my problems. These are my problem areas. I got a bad back, or I'm weak here, or I need help here. And that person will put together a program, and then you do it. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 and 20, it says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. Our bodies are not our own, my friends. You have been bought. We have been bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. That verse alone should motivate you to take care and take charge of your health, because our bodies are not our own. And we are to honor God with our bodies. So get out there, my friends, find an activity that you like and start exercising. So here's your action plan. Assess your exercise routine. Learn and do. Here's a link for books on exercising. And I'm going to give you a link on walking for health and your personal trainer, how to find a personal trainer. And then maintain the Genesis diet plan, your daily supplementation, and add exercising. Man, friends, I can't wait to hear the testimonies of how this teaching has changed your life. I pray that you will do a before and after. Make a journal. Take a picture of yourself right now. Go in the mirror, take a picture of yourself. Don't get turned off by it, but then do what you need to do to get your bodies in optimum shape. Write down what problems you're having today. Sickness or this problem or that problem. Write it in a journal, date it, and then begin these steps, these action plans that I have been going over with you, and go through this once or twice. You can also go on our website at mymdi.org. Look at the link. It says free classes. I have this class up there as a more in-depth free class that you can take. So you can do that also. But this is all you really need, are these two pieces that I put together, these two episodes, but you need to do it. And the best way to do it is to journal, write it down, make an action plan, and then pray and ask God to motivate you to do it. Don't listen to the thoughts of the enemy that whispers in your ear saying, oh, you don't have to do this. You're fine. No problem. Go have an ice cream and go do this, and go sit and watch TV. You're going to miss this sitcom or this teleserie. No, get up, get off your behind and get outside. Enjoy the beauty of God's creation and really begin to take charge of your health. Now, we want to learn about the healing value of faith, hope, and love in the remaining minutes here today. So, my friends, God lists three things as abiding realities. In 1 Corinthians 13:13, he says, but now abide faith, hope, love. These three, but the greatest of these is love. God declares that the health of one's body is connected to the health of the soul, thereby providing the basis for this psychosomatic, this mind-body relationship. And John writes in 3 John 2, he says, "Beloved, I pray that in all respects you may prosper and be in good health, just as your soul prospers." So we see this connection between our bodies and our minds and our soul. And in Proverbs 17, verse 22, Solomon writes, "A merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bone." My friends, we are to maintain a positive emotional state by pondering positive things. If you are getting bombarded with negative thoughts, they are not coming from God. They are coming from the enemy who wants to destroy your soul and your body, make you sick, and snatch your soul and cause you to decay until you die. My friends, we need to maintain a positive mindset. Things which are thinking about things which are honorable and right, good and lovely. It is so easy to forget this injunction, to begin meditating on the corruption in government or the corruption in the medical society or the corruption in churches, and to move into anger, frustration, despair, cynicism, and aggression. My friends, if I had anything I can give you a value today, get off of social media, turn off the news, and go outside and smell the roses and enjoy the beauty of God's creation. Even when it's raining, get out there with an umbrella, go walk in the rain and enjoy the rain, the cleansing and the smell of the air when it rains. Go out there and enjoy outside. Get outside and enjoy life. So the Bible says we should get together and find ways to stimulate one another to love and good deeds. Paul writes in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. We are not to come together to discuss negative scenarios and to do a lot of lashon hara and a lot of gossiping, how bad things are becoming, and quote the last crime, rate, and murder statistics. We are to gather together to stimulate one another to love and good deeds. How can you help this person? Maybe I can make a dinner for this person. You know, they just had a new baby. Maybe they need help. How can we help? Organize some friends and go and try to help other people, or just get together with someone for lunch or breakfast or dinner and just fellowship, read the word and just fellowship and uplift one another. And in Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 to 8, the scriptures write, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, shall guard your hearts and your minds in Messiah Yeshua. Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence and if anything worthy of praise, let your mind dwell on these things." My friends, write that scripture down and go back and read it and purpose it in your heart, in your mind, to start dwelling on those things that is written here in Philippians chapter 4. My friends, chronic stress may cause the immune system to falter and health problems to arise. It is not just stress that deteriorates the immune system. Inappropriate responses to stress put us at risk of a depressed immunity and possible disease. We have to understand that stress is the leading cause of many diseases and high blood pressure and strokes, and it is a killer. Anger also is a killer. Hostility is harmful to your health. There is some evidence to show that type A personalities move more easily toward anger and hostility than do type B personalities. Type A is the more aggressive personality type. I know I have to battle this all the time because I'm that type A personality. So I have to be very careful, and I do get triggered easily. So I have to be well aware of my emotions and not to get triggered into a hostile situation. Now, by abiding in Yeshua, we can overcome the potential negative aspects of the type A personality and not live in anger, hostility, and stress. Stress and hostile people tend to have fewer warm, caring relationships. We all know people who have been toxic. They don't have many friends. So then the friends that they do, they want to spew out their toxicity on them and have them feel like they do. And so stay away from those kinds of people. Pray for them because this damages their health and it will damage your health. So, my friends, your action plan is to assess your personality type, learn and grow. I have a link here for Anger Kills book that you can review if you have anger issues, and develop a Bible reading plan. I think many of you know that on our YouTube channel, which is the Daily Torah channel, I do a Daily Torah podcast. Plug into that every day. It's only 15 minutes or so. Plug into that every day. Take notes. Start your day with that. Listen to music. Develop this reading plan. Within a year, you'll go through the Torah cycle and the Haftarah and the Brit Hadashah, but also do supplemental reading on your own and enjoy life and continue with the Genesis diet, your supplementation, your exercising, and growing in love and joy. So, my friends, that's all I have for you today, and I got to it right on time. So I'm very thankful to God for that. Again, visit us at mymdi.org, and we have free classes there. I have the Daily Torah schedule there that you can download, and I also have some books there that you can plug into, and there's courses there that you can take also. So, my friends, until next week, we're going to start a new series, so make sure you plug in. So God bless everyone, and we will see you next week. If you missed today's show or want to watch it again or want to tell someone where they can watch this episode, go to lambnetwork.tv, where you will find this show and all the other live Lamb Show archives in the on-demand section of the website. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to tell someone about the Messianic Lamb Network. We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussions, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the lambnetwork.tv website. I'm Jeffrey Clark. Thank you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network. Mm-hmm.